right behind me is Root and Bloom Cafe, which is a new cafe that recently opened in Buffalo. It is very vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free friendly, and I am gonna meet one of my all-time favorite food bloggers ever. Her name is Sarah. She is the blogger behind Nourish Thrive Glow, which if you're not following her on Instagram, you've got to. This woman is a nutrition expert. She's literally my go-to when it comes to just food stuff, tips, all of it. So I'm so excited to go to Root and Bloom for the first time and sit down with Sarah and feature her on the channel so that you guys can learn a little bit more about nutrition and get to see this beautiful new cafe that opened in Buffalo. So let's go. Hi guys, so I just got to Root and Bloom and this is Sarah.
Hi.
And Sarah is the blogger behind Nourish Thrive Glow, and so we're gonna get some food, some vegan, vegetarian friendly food here, but it is very crowded. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna eat a little bit here and then head to another place so that I can really introduce Sarah and have her share some nutrition and little food tips and stuff like that. So our food just came. We're very excited.
Very excited.
And we got the Gertrude, which I think
is the
yes, the Gertrude is the avocado toast, and we got it on gluten-free bread. And we got
the eggless omelet.
the eggless omelet, the Beth.
The Beth.
So we'll let you know how it is.
Yeah.
So far it is so good. There is some like cashew cream, right, on the Beth, and it is unbelievable. We are walking on Richmond right now. It is so beautiful. Summer in Buffalo is the absolute best. And we're walking to the kind of like the Klein Hands area. So this is more your stomping grounds, right?
Yeah, my husband and I live like 2 blocks away, so this is like our hood. Yeah,
so nice.
I know, I love it over here. It's so pretty. I'm gonna miss it.
Right. So actually, that's a perfect introduction. So why are you gonna miss it? Tell the channel a little bit about.
I'm moving to Switzerland in 2 weeks from today, so it's kind of crazy. My husband's going to grad school, so we leave 2 weeks from today. We fly out.
That's exciting.
I know, it's crazy. It's very exciting. It's very scary. I'm feeling like a lot of emotions all at once.
So I first met Sarah at Power Yoga Buffalo.
Yeah.
We both practice at Power Yoga, which if you guys have never been, number one, I did a vlog on Power Yoga, so check that out. And number two, it's like the best yoga studio in Buffalo. The community is so good. So if you've been nervous about trying yoga, but you've really wanted to, I can't recommend Power Yoga Buffalo enough, because you walk in, you feel so welcome. Whether it's your first class or your 50th class, the people are going to make you feel really, really welcome there. It's a Baptiste studio.
Yeah, the workout's amazing. It's awesome.
So you sweat your ass off. So if you don't like hot yoga, though, it's not your place. And it's definitely a little bit more challenging in the summer. I went to a class just the other day and it was like I had forgotten what it was like to do hot yoga in the summer, so it is quite the workout, but can't recommend it enough.
Agreed.
We are right by Kleinhans. We're gonna do a little bit of walking around here. And so I figured now would be a great time for you to tell a little bit about like your story. So I love your blog. When did you get started? Why did you decide to start blogging? How did it all kind of come to be?
Yeah, so probably I've had the blog NTG, Nourish Thrive Glow, for about like 4 years. I went back to school for a nutrition certification about like 6 or 7 years ago when I was in a corporate job that I absolutely hated. So I got the certification, then I got another job and never really like took the leap, just started like posting pictures, developing recipes, but was like too afraid to jump.
Okay.
So my now husband at the time was my boyfriend though, like really gave me that shove to be like, you love eating healthy, you're very knowledgeable on it, why don't you start taking on clients, what you're certified for? And I was just always like too nervous. I was like, no, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. He's like, well, you're never gonna be ready.
That's so true.
So he gave me that push and was like, all right, like meet with somebody, like develop a nicer website, just put yourself out there. And that was like 3 or so years ago. And now here I am.
Publish recipes, you publish.
Yeah,
like
recipes. I try to like add like some science-based stuff to it to break down like why you should be eating it and what you should be eating. Every day I post, like sometimes twice a day. Tuesdays, I call it like Tasty's Tuesdays. I do a meal in under 20 minutes, 10 ingredients or less.
Oh my God.
I
That's
do
awesome.
What I Ate Wednesdays, like a wellness Wednesdays, where sort of like debunk some things like what's blood sugar, what's insulin, like what's glycogen, lipogenesis, like kind of get into the things that people hear about,
Yep.
but they have no idea what it means.
Totally. And that is actually why, that is like my favorite reason why I love following Sarah on Instagram too, is because her Insta stories are literally jam-packed with so much information that if you are looking to just become more health conscious and understand why certain things are good for you or like all of it, you really break it down into a really like understandable. So that actually being said, one of the first things I wanted to ask you, because you shared about it in a recent Insta story, is so you make your own juices.
Yes, yep.
And you usually only do vegetables.
Yes, vegetables.
So why is it that you don't put fruit in your juices?
Okay, so it's sort of two-folded, right? So I'm going to start with the first one, like blood sugar. So like what is blood sugar? Blood sugar is glucose. It's a source of our energy. Our body needs it. Our brain utilizes it. Our liver and our muscles do as well. But when you juice fruit, you're removing the fiber. So what happens is, let's say like you put an apple, like celery, all these greens, an apple and pineapple. So what's happening is your blood sugar, it might be in a normal range between 70 and 120, but as you consume that juice, there's no fiber, so fiber is a non-digestible carbohydrate that slows the spike in blood sugar, glucose. So you have this like big, delicious like green juice, right? And you sit down to drink it, well, what's going to happen is it's really going to spike your blood sugar quite high. So you're probably going to go out of the normal range, going anywhere from like 130 to like 170, depending on how much fruit you put in.
Okay.
So like, why is that bad, right? Blood sugar is energy, glucose is energy. So you're spiking it so high that your pancreas, part of your endocrine system, right, is like, okay, there's sugar in the blood, so now I'm going to release a hormone known as insulin. And insulin, we all need insulin, but it's a fat storage hormone. So like, it does serve a really good purpose. So insulin is sent out from your pancreas, it's in the blood, now it's picking up that glucose and it's putting it in your liver, and then it's putting it in your muscles. Now once your liver is full, now it's storing its glycogen, which is a source of energy. One thing is you can't speed up the rate in which you use the glycogen in your liver. So it stores in your liver, and then it stores in your muscles, and then when that is full, when your muscles and your liver are full, now that excess, now it's going to store as fat. There's nowhere else for it to go. And insulin, when it stays in your system for about like 6 to 8 hours, now you have like a massive surge of it, so you're shutting down fat burning, and that's what kind of causes you to feel hungry like 90 minutes or 2 hours like after a meal, because as soon as your blood sugar, even if it's in the normal range, starts to dip down, you become hormonally hungry, like you're really not physically hungry.
So it's that crash.
It's that crash, yeah. And then sugars, or fruit, is metabolized completely different than a traditional carbohydrate. So it's broken down into glucose and fructose. And fructose is 100% metabolized in your liver, and it replaces that glycogen that was going to be stored there. And then when it's in your liver, it turns into a sugar alcohol called glycerol. And what that does is essentially, it's with free fatty acids, then it converts to triglycerides. So I love fruit. I don't like promote like fear fruit. I'm just like eat it in whole forms with the fiber. Be mindful of the volume you're eating, and go for seasonal, local. And I love berries. Like they're low glycemic, but always go seasonal and always go local. And then just don't like overdo it with the fruit. Like with any type of food.
Yep. Everything in moderation,
Yeah.
honestly.
Totally.
So one of the things that Sarah does is Sarah offers private like consulting
Yeah.
for nutrition. So what are some of the things that people kind of come to you, either maybe
Yeah.
like what do they come to you for?
All-
I'm sure it's a range.
Yeah, all
of-
walks of life. I mean, I've had clients who were suffering from pancreatic cancer or type 2 diabetes, or they're like very inflamed where they just feel like that swollen like feeling. Proper nutrition, they don't know where to start, they don't know how to eat, losing weight, sort of all walks of life. And I like to hammer home more of food. I mean, you've heard this before, food is medicine.
Yes.
The opportunity to feed your cells, turn off things that you might be predisposed to, and like really change your life.
Completely. So what are some of the things that you're kind of like your top tips?
Top tips. Greens and more greens. I am not a vegan or vegetarian. I eat meat, but my plate, I make up 70% of the plate is always veggies, no matter where I am, even if I'm having a slice of pizza. So greens. And healthy fats. I think people like demonize fats. I think we all
Yes.
sort of fell victim to that notion that all calories are created equally, and they're not. But fats are so important. That's what your cell membranes are made of, and your cell membranes are the gatekeeper, right? It's like what comes in and out of the cell. So you want to make sure you're eating high quality fats, avocado, salmon, olive oil, things like that, because so many people are afraid of it. And they're like, I don't want to eat fat, I'm going to get fat.
Yep.
And I think, to your point about calories, a lot of times people eat like, oh, they're gonna do like a skinny latte, right? Like a fat-free latte. I'm like, that is worse for you. Go with whole milk. So sugar is huge, and we all talk about sugar, and I think people just assume sugar. They're like, I don't eat candy bars, I'm good. But like, think of like your fat-free yogurt you might have in the morning. That is more sugar than a can of Pepsi. So sugar is really like the silent killer. Now
Yep.
like more and more research is coming out, but really being mindful of your sugar intake is another thing that I think like those are the top three, I would say. And water. I think people know you should drink water, but so
Yes.
many people underestimate the power of staying like properly hydrated.
Yes. Because it's not only good for your digestion, but it's like amazing for your skin, for your energy levels. I notice a real difference just in my day-to-day energy levels. Like if I wake up one day and I'm feeling really tired and zapped and drained, almost every time I can kind of look back and be like, oh, I did not really drink that much water yesterday. There's a direct correlation between those, so it's so important to stay hydrated.
Yeah, and a lot of times people are, when you're in a chronic state of dehydration, you don't even realize it, and it mimics like hunger symptoms.
Yes.
So people are always like, oh, I'm so hungry. And I was like, if I'm going like one-on-one with a client, I'm like, well, how much water do you drink a day? And they're like, like 40 ounces. I was like, well, you're probably not really hungry. That's just a sign, a signal that your body gives you, like, hey, drink some water, girl.
Yeah, if you guys watched the vlog that I did with Ella, we talked a little bit about collagen, and we talked about nut milks and things like that. So do you have any kind of favorite brands that
Yeah.
you kind of gravitate towards, and is there a reason why?
It's not so much a brand loyalty thing as it is like I create like it's an emergency like pantry shelf in my house where I'll
Cool.
have like a lot of times people are afraid of like canned items. They're like, no, the can has to be bad. Like I love having like wild canned salmon in my house at all times, so when you get home you can always just like throw something together.
Yep.
Primal Kitchen is probably like my favorite. Their salad dressings are amazing, and again, that saves you time. Always having frozen veggies and fruit, and like meat in the freezer, always. So that saves you time. So more or less just items I always keep on hand. I love siete. I love siete chips,
they're so
tortillas.
good.
It's really great, especially for people who suffer from celiacs or have a gluten allergy.
Which is me.
Yeah, so amazing. I love those.
siete. You guys, okay, the tortillas are not cheap. Gonna
But
put it out
Thrive
there.
Market. So if you remember
I love
Thrive
Thrive.
Market,
It's
yeah,
so good.
You buy in bulk. Like it's even though you're like, oh, you're only saving like 30 cents. Well, that 30 cents compounds and it adds up. Yeah,
Totally.
Thrive is my jam.
It's so
it's
good.
basically like a Costco for Whole Foods. That's how I describe it.
Yeah, you guys definitely need to check out Thrive Market. I think it's just thrivemarket.com.
Yeah.
It's where I get like my bonza pasta.
Yeah, it's another one I always keep in the house. Yeah.
Really, really good. Really good stuff and really reasonably priced. That it's like a no-brainer, especially if you're into health food brands. It's where I mean, like all the kind of household staples. It's like the only thing I don't get is produce.
Yeah, same. And that's what I do. When I go to the grocery store, I just pick up my produce and my meats, and then I keep all like the prepackaged stuff for Thrive to save money, because I get it. Like eating healthy can be costly.
It can.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and Simple Mills, you should try those.
Yeah, I've heard so much
it's like an
about those.
almond-based cracker. So I like Mary's Gone crackers too. They're like quite seedy. With these ones, it's just like a cracker you can crumble and put it over your salad as like a replacement for croutons. I like to do. Yeah, like for people like that crunch. Like you have to feel satisfied. You're like, I need a crunch. So that's a nice one too.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I like that. So the last thing that I wanted to ask you is, do you have a favorite restaurant in Buffalo? And since you're kind of like leaving town, I figured it would be a nice nod to whatever some of your favorite spots are.
Yes. Okay, so I have a couple. My ride or die go-to is always Left Bank. It's so good. So reasonably priced. You can make a healthy meal there. I've become so obsessed with Dapper Goose.
I've never been. It's high on my list.
It's amazing. The patio is so cute. They source their vegetables locally.
That's
a ton of small plates of veggies is really good. I love Remedy House for coffee.
Yep.
Squeeze is great. There's so many good spots, but definitely Left Bank is my favorite, and Dapper Goose.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that you guys got to meet Sarah, and definitely be sure to do a few things. So number one, make sure that you're following her on Instagram. She does Insta stories. She's constantly posting really good food photos. So make sure you're following her on Instagram, and check out her blog, nourishthriveGlow.com.
Yep.
And if you guys have any interest in like some consulting, you guys need some help with getting your diet in order or any of the things that Sarah talked about, reach out to her. She would be more than happy to help. She's still going to be doing, like you're still going to be offering this.
Virtually,
Exactly. That's the beauty of the world of social media, right? And the world of like all these technological tools. It means that you can connect with someone that is literally somewhere halfway across the world, and through means like Skype and things like that, you can still have a relationship with them. So don't be shy, reach out to Sarah, start following her, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. So one of the things that Sarah does is you offer like private consulting.
Yeah,
right?
One-on-one nutritional like consultation, I like to call it. So
what are some of the things that people come? Okay, we're just gonna restart that.